How has being a dad been? What's that journey been like?
Chaotic.
Yeah.
It's fun. No, it's the best though. It's like got I got a 2.5-year-old Stetson, Wyatt. He just turned 6 months. So 1 to 2 was crazy.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I mean, 0 to 1 is crazy. It's like it's a big life adjustment. But 1 to 2, you're like, you get systems. You think you got things down. You get a routine. And then your systems are like, okay, we're making new ones now.
Yeah.
Make this work. But it's a lot of fun. Like, I was just home. We got some Texas Roadhouse and then came over here. Yeah.
Nice.
Get those cinnamon butter.
Yeah. Stetson
rolls.
house down some cinnamon rolls.
Let's go.
And then was outside playing with the dog. Like, it's the best.
Yeah.
So, I love it.
That's awesome.
What do you want to take from your childhood and how you were raised and instill in them?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I'm excited about the business, like Little Lions, because like I grew up working with my parents and kind of was always like under a produce stand. Like I'd sleep under there and then wake up and be selling corn or watermelon. So I look back on those memories and they like fond memories. You know, working with my siblings, working with my parents. So like I don't see them working in there every day, but like just teaching them things like, hey, here's a customer. Like, you know, help make change. Like something little like that. Like I learned how to make change really young. I don't even know, maybe I want to say 3, but probably 4 was like making change. So yeah, I think like that's how I want to raise kids, just kind of bring them into our life, what we have going on, and you know, teach them that way. Yeah.
How are you going to instill like the work ethic?
Yeah, I should ask you that question too. You're doing it too. I think I think like lead by example, I guess, and that's why I'm excited with the business to just show them like Juliana's gonna be working in it too. Just your mom works hard, and still make time for all the things. Right. I mean, I'm thinking back to the way we grew up, and I'm trying to like do that in some ways, just because like I thought it was good. So
you saw your parents and how they. Something that you said earlier was like, when we go to drive 5 hours to Colat's, we go to a wrestling camp. You're like thinking about it in a different way, where you saw your parents working, or you could have been working, and it's like you have a different type of gratitude for that. Yeah, and it's like I think that really that comes down to like being a good example, right?
Be a good example, I think, is important, and like Chris D'Elia, comedian. Yeah. I saw something, he was talking about like he never touched any like substances. Right. And he like was talking about how his parents one time like had heard that some of his friend group was like experimenting with drugs or something, and his dad brought him aside and said like, hey, if you're gonna do it, just do it under our roof, you know, and like I don't care if you do it, just we want you to be safe. He's like, I never wanted to do it after that because it was like
there was no rebelliousness.
There's no rebelliousness, and it's like he just like I felt like my parents just cared for me, like they wanted me safe, like they're not, and so I don't know, I thought that was cool too.
That is cool. It's hard to balance because I feel like as people that have a strong drive and ambition, you know, you want your kids to have that, but it's so counterintuitive because if you like try to force them, you just know it's going to go the other way. It's going to, like, if you're like trying to force that on them. Yeah. But if you lead by example and give them an example of like good values and character, then I think usually, you know, they're around it in your product, your environment, so they follow suit. But yeah, it's a hard balance because you can't do too much and you don't want to do too little. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony?
I don't know, man. It seems like with your dad or your dad, I feel like they probably saw as your personality matured, like they probably saw like this kid can handle it to a certain extent. I would think so, because I know with your dad, it's like he was super involved and pushing you, but it wasn't like over the top. But for some kids, it could have been. Right. And so I feel like maybe as a dad, you start to see like the personality form and like who they are, and if they're like gravitated towards it, or if they're like really pushing themselves on their own, then you're like, okay, maybe I can like join in and encourage him. But I've definitely seen it go bad a lot when like the dad is at a different level than the child. Right. So, I mean, yeah, it's something I'm going to be thinking about a lot too, is just like not overstepping, but also not just like stepping way back and not being involved. And that's where I think the balance of the mom and dad works really well.
Definitely.
But what do I know?
We're all just speculating.
I think too, like tough moms are important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just remember, like going to my mom sometimes and it's like, like what'd your dad say? Not like getting coddled.
Yeah.
So like I think that's important too.
Yeah. How was your mom's involvement growing up?
There was one time where she, like I double bracketed at the state college youth tournament. I took second in like my age group, and then I jumped into the junior high and was getting whooped. And it was just like my 10th match. My dad was like, we got to keep going. Yeah. My mom was like, no, like you get out of here. We're done.
She called it.
She called it. Dang. And I'm glad, like my dad's even like glad that she did, but that was the only time. And I think that's important because I think, like you said, like my dad, I think knew that you can push, but you got to have a balance of like, hey, without like coddling. Right. Balance.
10 matches.
Yeah. It was a lot.
It's more of a realistic perspective than like trying to be soft on them. Like, all right, like you need somebody sometimes, I think, to be like, this is realistic. Like, let's be realistic for a second. Yeah. Not because it's easy to be like in it, right? When you're in it, it's like you're way in it. With you have a certain personality. But yeah, that's interesting. It was that's funny that you remember that moment specifically.
Yeah,
it's probably like very vivid to you.
Yeah, it's the only time I felt like she had to step in. Yeah, and be like, no, we're shutting this down.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm gonna die.
I can't do 11. Not doing it. Yeah.